Good morning, folks. January 25th, 2025. And I was thinking recently about diversifying my efforts around the property. Now, since I moved here, it's been establishing the market style garden to pull food for my wife and I've enjoyed the heck out of that process. And I still give my focus primarily, but the prep labor is coming to an end. The garden's in really good shape. The soil's amazing. I've got to weed the perimeter a bit more on the outside to really establish it up to make sure the Bermuda grass doesn't finish creeping in. But other than that, I'm kind of on autopilot with sow seeds, plant seeds, irrigate, harvest, repeat. The other day, a couple weeks ago actually, I took cuttings from my Celeste fig. It was really established, a 4-year plant. She's looking really amazing. And I did a video about how not to propagate figs because I had a few extra that didn't make it to the crawl space, and I just popped them into grow bags without really doing anything other than that and putting them out into the cold air just for a fun experiment. But I want to do more than that. I want to actually grow on a little more scale, and to that end, I'm going to start a little nursery here on the property. Nothing significant of size, really just something to try my hand at. And I want to take you along for the ride. So let's go. The first thing I needed to do was find the location for this that I really wanted to set up shop. And I've got this area right here, sort of in the middle of this section of buildings. And there's a bit of a level spot in there. And I'm thinking, since I have water access over here, this might be a good little location to land it. So we're down in this metal barn garage that was installed on the property before I got here, and I haven't really used it for much so far, but I'm going to build this little 6x6 greenhouse from Harbor Freight. Now this is not commercial grade by any stretch. This is more a starting point for me to learn what I'm doing and propagating. I don't want to build a permanent structure at this point because I don't know if this endeavor is something that I'm going to take to, because I've never worked in a nursery, I've never sold to the public. So this is really me just getting my feet wet, and I figured a little 6x6 pop-up like this would be a nice way to get started. The capacity of this, if I measured correctly for the benches that I'm going to build, benches/shelves, I should be able to, if I'm propagating in number 1 greenhouse pots, they're roughly close to a gallon. I should be able to fit about 120 to 180 depending on how many benches I put in there. So the first objective for me is to actually build that structure in the barn, and then I'm going to relocate it out to the area that I identified. And I think I'm going to cover the area with cardboard and wood chips, just to kind of smother out some of that existing Bermuda grass that it's going to be over top of. And then I'm going to build the benches. I'm going to move the benches into the greenhouse, and then I'm probably going to start sticking my cuttings. I'm going to put a thermometer in there to see how much, see what kind of temperatures I get at nighttime. I've got a couple of space heaters that are definitely not appropriate for a structure like that, but in the building behind me I do have power, and I'm willing to take a gamble on putting a concrete block in the greenhouse, putting the space heater on top of that, and seeing what I can get the temperatures up to, assuming it's not raining. I definitely don't want to chance a fire in a structure that's definitely not set up for what I'm talking about. Okay, folks, it's built, it's up. Now I've got to figure out what kind of shelving units I'm going to put together, and then over the next couple of weeks, fill them with plants. So when the shelving units get up and I feel like the whole structure is ready to show off, I'll go ahead and open her up and give you the 6x6x6 guided tour. So until then, take care. January 26th, folks, and so far the structure is up and hasn't blown down yet, so I'm happy about that. And this morning I took a few minutes and I cobbled together the first of the 2 benches after doing my measurements based upon the pots that I got in. They are #1 nursery pots, so I guess the old measurement was a gallon. And if I can open this, we'll get in and take a look. I dummied up the pots so we can see what the bench looks like. And this is it. So the bench is, I think I measured out 66 inches long by 20 inches wide, however that measurement works, because I actually laid these out to measure what the maximum I could fit in with reasonable walkway space is, because I'm going to have a second one on this side over here of the same size, which will give me about 30 inches to walk in between. Probably going to be tight, but I'll probably have to crawl on my hands and knees to get to the bottom ones for sure. But you can see I've got 3 levels from floor up that I can stick cuttings place, and hopefully by the time they root they'll be able to get out of here, so I'm not going to be competing with growth against the bottom of that shelf. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out. In the next couple of weeks I'll finish this other bench and get a bunch of them stuck, and we'll see how it goes. So thanks for watching. We're gonna call it on this video as part 1, and I'll see you in part 2. Take care.